Well, the royal big mouth Prince Harry's little plan to rake in a lot of money while settling the score with his family in that tell-all memoir has blown up in his face. Critics are now claiming that his shocking drug confessions may be grounds for deportation, and that's going to earn him a one-way ticket back to the UK. A scandal over Harry's secret visa application blew up after a government agency refused to release documents that would reveal if the prince actually disclosed his drug abuse while trying to gain entry to America, which legal experts claim is required by law. According to George Washington University immigration expert Alberto Benitez, King Charles's youngest son should have been denied U.S. residency over his drug use. Now, the rogue royal, who does have an American-born wife, would have been asked about drug use in the past on his application, and Benitez says that if he lied, his visa may now be revoked. A high-level British courtier spoke with Globe magazine, saying that in Harry's recently released book Spare, he decided to boast about taking cocaine and other substances to sell his book, and make headlines in his online interview with a mental health guru. His loose lips could come back to bite him big time. His fairy tale Hollywood life could be over if he concealed his drug use on his visa application. You can bet Harry is fighting tooth and nail to keep it secret. And Heritage Foundation is leading the charge. Heritage Foundation, of course, is a conservative think tank that's based in Washington, D.C. The organization compiled a whole dossier of evidence, including Harry's public admissions about taking cocaine, cannabis, and magic mushrooms. They did this to support their Freedom of Information Act request, which was denied, but now it's under appeal. The group is also insisting that all text messages, emails, and correspondence involved to show how the application was handled by the federal government be released. Heritage Oversight Project Director Mike Howell claims that his organization just wants to know if Harry was properly vetted or if he was giving preferential treatment, which would be illegal. In Harry's memoir, he revealed that he was only 17 years old when he first took cocaine on a shooting weekend, and he did a few more lines at other times. He also took drugs like ketamine, admitting that he was tripping during a party at actress Courtney Cox's house when a garbage can seemed to look like somebody's head talking to him. He wrote, "I stepped on the pedal and the head opened its mouth, a huge open grin. I laughed." Harry also talked about using cannabis. He said that when he was in high school, he would regularly smoke weed. He smoked after his first date in 2016 with now-wife Megan, and he also used a lot of cannabis when he was living at Tyler Perry's LA home while they were house hunting during the pandemic. In Spare, Harry wrote, "Late at night, with everybody asleep, I'd walk the house, checking the doors and windows. Then I'd sit on the balcony or the edge of the garden and roll a joint." Harry also talked publicly about his drug use in a pay-to-view online session with a therapist, Dr. Gabor Mate, saying that cocaine was a social thing for him, but he claimed that marijuana really helped him. He also admitted to using the hallucinogenic drug ayahuasca, claiming that it changed me and helped me deal with the trauma and pains of the past. "It's one of the fundamentals of my life." But with Harry's money-making drug confessions, he may have doomed his visa application, and he could be barred from the U.S., according to experts. The Palace Courtier says Harry's just been evicted from his English home Frogmore Cottage by his father. Now he could be deported from America. Where does he go next? Canada? Africa? The bad blood in the Windsor's family would keep him from returning to Britain on a permanent basis. And the big question is, will Meghan go with him? She seems to have made it clear her future lies in the U.S. with their tots, Archie and Lilibet. Meghan wants to be the queen of Hollywood and has political ambitions in Washington, D.C. too. So it seems like it's pretty important for Harry to keep his U.S. visa no matter what. His marriage probably even depends on it. I mean, airing his dirty laundry did earn him a lot of money, but maybe he's going to need that money to hire the best immigration lawyer that he can find. And as I'm sure most of you already know, Harry made a trip back to the UK recently. Again, he was depleting the ozone layer thanks to using his private jet, and the purpose of that trip was not the High Court case at all. He was trying to outsmart his father. But Harry couldn't outsmart a garden slug. As Angela Devine pointed out, he could have appeared via Zoom while sitting on one of his 16 thrones in Montecito. But no, Harry wanted to show up in the UK unannounced for that lawsuit against A&L. He stayed at his former residence, Frogmore Cottage, although that place is not going to be available for the two of them to stay after the coronation, but nobody really cared anyway. Harry wasn't followed around by anybody. He was so busy grinning at the three people watching him walk into the courtroom that he ran right into a photographer. Harry requested to see his father, but see, Charles couldn't see him because the next morning he and Camilla were traveling to Germany. The king refused to see him, and then the king was in Germany. And Harry did have the good sense at least to not ask to visit his brother. Prince William was actually already in Poland anyway, so he couldn't have spent any time with him. But I don't think William would have wanted to see Harry even if he could. Most Britons are just excited that the king refused to see Harry. Serves him right. And let's think about the real reason for Harry's surprise visit. He just wanted to see his name in the headlines again. And not just any headlines. He wanted free publicity. Pretty sure it was Meghan Markle who told him to come to London anyway. You know, that award-buying wannabe humanitarian. They were trying to take advantage of the king's absence in Germany, and Harry was trying to get himself some free headlines, which, of course, not even Meghan's PR people could buy. Harry doesn't really care if the headlines are good or not, he just wants the attention. Publicity is fuel to the two of them, and they consume more than their fair share, just like with other types of fuel too. I mean, just think about how much CO2 has been put into the atmosphere thanks to the two of them. I would say that is a double environmental negative from the desultory duo. But yet again, Harry's little plan backfired. Thankfully, the headlines about King Charles's visit to Germany blew Harry's little high court headlines out of the water. The king got plenty of flattering international headlines of his own. I mean, even AOL featured more information about King Charles in Harry's headline than it did Harry. And for the rest of it, Charles's media coverage features lots of photos full of smiling German faces, from the Bundestag parliamentarians to the Germans out there on the street who came to just get a chance to greet the British king and queen. Honestly, I was a little surprised by how warm they were received in Germany, and the weather wasn't very good either. This cannot be understated. People all around the world have noticed the reception the royals got in Germany. That is such a good start for their first royal visit as king and queen. And what exactly did Harry get? Well, he got a grim security detail, and he got jostled a little bit by reporters who were excited to grab a pic of him. No smiling faces there. Nobody was happy to see him, of course not, and he deserved it. Next time, Harry, maybe you can just stay at home in Montecito. If you really think that your star power is going to steal headlines from your father, you need to think again. So it looks like the king and queen officially won this round. Even the late Queen Elizabeth was not accorded that honor during her previous state visits to Germany. And King Charles does speak some German, so he decided to use both German and English languages in the Bundestag. Apparently he's not quite fluent, but it was good enough to deliver some portions of his speech in German, which was so appreciated by his hosts. It was a lovely gesture from the king, and the German parliamentarians rewarded him with a nearly 2-minute standing ovation when it was finished.